It is time to assemble your roof elements from Lättelement. Before starting the assembly, please read the assembly instructions carefully. These contain drawings, a description of the method, and safety measures. Make sure that standard tools that Lättelement does not provide are available at the construction site when starting installation. A list of the tools required can be found in our assembly instructions. The frame contractor is responsible for controlling the frame stability. Measure the frame using a laser measurer and measuring tape. Check that this matches the drawings. Make a note of any grid lines and starting measurements that need to be marked out before assembly begins. In order to keep the roof vapor-proofed, the supports need to be sealed. The plastic foil from the wall must be drawn up on the supports so the rubber strips on the elements will form a proper vapor barrier. If this is not done correctly, humid indoor air can penetrate the roof and wall. Before you start the assembly work, think about roof safety. On the construction site, the Building Work Environment Coordinator for execution is responsible for health and safety while the work is being carried out. You can find out more about the applicable rules on the Swedish Work Environment Authority's website. Remember never to perform any assembly work when it is raining. If any water gets into the structure, you should get in touch immediately with the project manager at Lättelement. The elements are supplied in stacks, well protected against rain. Please check that nothing has been damaged in transit. Use the unloading bars to unload the stacks included with the first delivery. High stacks above 2 meters should be divided if fall protection isn't available on the construction site. Lättelement provide special equipment for lending purposes. The special tools, including screws, insulation, joint tape and so on, come with the first delivery. Check carefully to ensure that everything is present according to the list of accessories. Once you have everything in place, it is time to assemble the first element. Start by uncovering the stacks. The roof elements are clearly marked in transport numerical sequence and using element letters, so by using the drawing, it is easy to tell where the elements belong. Check all elements to ensure that there is no damage. It is particularly important that there should be no damage to the folded sheet metal edge and rubber strips. Begin by screwing the 4 eye bolts into the element that is to be lifted. Measure carefully where each element should be placed. Adjust the element so that it is in the correct position. This must be done with precision on the first element. Screw the element securely in place. There are anchoring brackets on the short ends, while on the long sides there are often angle brackets. Use the screw extenders supplied. A headlamp can be useful for seeing into the holes. Lift up the next element. Use a lever hoist to force the elements together. Ensure that the rubber strip on the ceiling side of the element is properly tightened. Check the rubber strips. It is very important for it to be vapor-proofed in all joints and connections. The elements must be secured in accordance with the project-specific documents provided by Lättelement. In this way, the entire roof can be used as a rigid roof diaphragm. Nail the nail plates in the element joints while the element is forced together. For details on how to nail the elements, compare against the project-specific documents from Lättelement. Knock down the corners of the plates to protect the waterproofing from the sharp edges. Continue with more elements according to the direction of assembly shown on the drawing. Check the measurements continually as you work so that everything ends up in the right place. Perform the self-check sent with the assembly instructions for each element stack on completion. Insulate the assembly holes and cover with a plastic cap. These are then sealed depending on the waterproofing options in the documents provided. Insulate the element joints above the supports, then cover them with plywood strips cut to size. Place bitumen strip across all the joints to create an expansion zone for the roofing felt across the joints. Nail this in place. Heat up the roofing felt and use a pressure roller to obtain an even flow of melted bitumen and good adhesion. It is important to plan the work to ensure that the roof is waterproof and that the drainage is functioning at the end of the working day. Cover the ridges and sides with plastic. You never know what the weather will be like on the following day. All work with underlaying bitumen felt must be carried out by experienced roofing contractors. For Ecopol System Mono, roofing contractors should be authorized through Tätskiktsgarantier i Norden AB. The roof is now finished. Remember though that the end user will inspect the roof regularly. A form to facilitate these inspections is included.